Have you ever had to measure something while cooking? Maybe you've seen a family member pump a certain amount of gasoline into a car. Perhaps you've had to choose between a large and a small drink. Or maybe you've tried to figure out how much space a box takes up. All these examples involve measuring volume. What exactly is volume? What are some of the ways volume is measured? And why do we measure volume? During the next few minutes, we're going to answer these questions and others as we learn how to measure volume. You compare. What's bigger, the person or the dog? That's right, the person is much bigger. We can also say the person has much more volume. Volume is the amount of space that something takes up. Everything you see and touch has volume. Solids, such as cars, take up space and have volume. Liquids, such as water, also take up space and have volume. And even things you can't see, such as gases, take up space and have volume. Sometimes it's important to know how much volume something takes up. That's when it's necessary to measure volume. Let's now take a look at how volume is measured. It's easy to tell that this large box has more volume than this small box. But what if we wanted to know the exact volume of each box? How would you do this? It's quite easy to find the volume of an object with a regular shape, such as a box. All you have to do is measure the length, height, and width, and then multiply all three. This large box has a volume of 9,000 cubic centimeters. This small block is 1 cubic centimeter. A cubic centimeter has a length of 1 centimeter, a height of 1 centimeter, and a width of 1 centimeter. 9,000 of these 1 cubic centimeter blocks fit inside this large box. Whenever you wash your hands or water plants, you're using liquids. Even though liquids do not have a definite shape, they do take up space. You decide. Do liquids have volume? Yes, liquids take up space and therefore have volume. Maybe you've helped a family member cook food and measured the volume of liquids using measuring spoons or measuring cups. It's important to accurately measure the volume of liquids while cooking so that food tastes good and cooks correctly. This gas pump is measuring the volume of liquid gasoline pumped into a car. It's important to know the correct volume of gasoline so the right amount is paid. There are several ways that people measure the volume of liquids in their homes. In science, it's also important to accurately measure liquid volume. This is a beaker. It's used to measure liquid volume. The marks and numbers on the side of the beaker indicate the volume of liquid in units of measurement called milliliters. Milliliters are metric units of measurement for liquids. This small amount of water has a volume of 1 milliliter. You observe. What's the volume of orange juice in this beaker? That's right. There are 150 milliliters of orange juice in the beaker. This is another tool used to measure liquid volume. It's called a graduated cylinder. Graduated cylinders are used to more accurately measure liquid volume. This graduated cylinder contains 18 milliliters of water. During the past few minutes, we discussed the interesting process of how to measure volume. We began by seeing that solids, liquids, and gases take up space and have volume. Volume is the amount of space something takes up. The way we measure the volume of a solid was demonstrated. Next, we explored liquid volume and the ways it can be measured. We specifically saw how beakers and graduated cylinders are used to measure the volume of liquids. This rounded out our exploration of the fascinating ways volume is measured. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Number 1. Is the amount of space something takes up. Number 2. This box has a volume of 9,000 centimeters. Number 3. Such as water do have volume. Number 4. This is used to measure liquids. And number 5. There are milliliters of juice in the graduated cylinder.